Why are so many people going through an identity shift at the exact same time? Hi, my name is Tiffany. I'm a cultural futurist specializing in identity evolution, and I track shifts in culture, energy, and human behavior before they become mainstream. As always, let's start with what you may be experiencing so you can know whether or not this is right for you. First, you may feel like everyone is unraveling around you and questioning society, work, and relationships. It feels like there's this energy of everyone having an existential crisis. Even if they're not saying that, you can kind of feel that people are grasping, searching, especially with the amount of layoffs that are happening. It's this energy of like, WTF, and also what now? So there's this sense of collective grief and or disillusionment that I think is a long-term continuation of what we experienced in the pandemic and post-pandemic as it relates especially to grief that literally no one's addressing or has told us how to navigate or really process, and it's impacted our identities. So what comes after the collapse that we're all experiencing, and why you're not late, okay? You're not late. We're all going through this, or many of us, thousands of us are going through this at the same time. And everyone's on different journeys and parts of their timeline, okay? So you may be further along on your identity shift. There may be other people that are awakening now. This is why it's really important not to compare yourself and your timelines to others, especially mine, because I've been doing this for a decade now. So some of you are really worried that you've missed your moment, and that everyone else has moved on while you're still figuring things out. And I promise you, this is not true. There are people struggling, okay, behind the scenes. The people that you would least expect to be suffering or struggling because of how they may show up online, they've been going through it, okay? I'm one of those people. Actually, if you look at my Instagram, I don't think I look like I'm suffering or that I've been having a hard time, but baby, 2023, like, are my edges still here? Yes. Spiritually, they're gone, okay? We're growing new edges. But that's not from a lack of authenticity. It's from a level of privacy, okay? So I share with you all once I've integrated and embodied what it is that I've experienced so that I can show up as what I like to call a lighthouse on your journey. I am not a coach. I'm not an authority. I'm someone who has lived experience that has embodied this journey now for the third or fourth time since I left corporate in 2017. I've been shifting identities. My human design profile is 3/6. I'm a manifester, so I am literally designed for trial and error. Yay me! So I'm sharing my experience and also the themes that I see with my clients. And as I track energy, culture shifts, and shifts in humanity and human behavior, I see consistent themes, and I can see that more people are now undergoing the same shift. So why is this happening? We are exiting a collective identity era. If you've been following along with my videos, if you haven't, go back and watch them, because I'm building an arc here so that you have a foundation of understanding and also a foundation for your journey so that your nervous system can adapt to the information that you're receiving. So as we exit this collective identity era, where it was very heavily based on performance rather than internal authority, systems built on performance, hierarchy, and extraction are collapsing. We're seeing this happen in real time. It's literally crumbling before our eyes. And the most sensitive people, I don't want to say empath, I have some problems with that word, and we can talk about that later, but the most sensitive people are feeling it first, okay? So this isn't necessarily something that's structural. That's why I want to keep emphasizing and reiterating that this is not a personal failure. Again, check in with yourself, check in with your therapist, because accountability is cute. But for the most part, this is something that's happening to us structurally and systematically. So this is happening because we often confuse visibility with readiness. Okay? But most real transformations happen quietly. They happen in isolation. They happen when you allow yourself to be still, to actually hear and receive the clarity it is that you're seeking. So culturally, the late bloomers, anyone that's followed a non-linear path, or has been undergoing this invisible integration, going through this process that no one else on the outside would really know that you're undergoing until they see that you've shifted your identity. Those are the people that are really experiencing this shift the most and feeling it the most right now. So what does this mean? It means that your experience is not isolated. You are not alone. I just crossed 10,000 conscious beings on Instagram as well as TikTok. I'm excited to welcome more of you here wherever you're watching this, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are, Substack, in the ethers. We're growing collectively because this is no longer a niche. It's data showing that we are having a shared collective experience. And this is why community matters more now than ever. Aligned community that's pointing you towards your own internal authority, not telling you who to be. I want to make that very clear and make that distinction so that you can really tap into your own discernment as you are deciding which communities are best for you. I highly recommend ones that are guiding you towards your inner guidance, not someone who's telling you who to be as an authority, okay? So I am here as a mirror. I'm here as a lighthouse, as a manifester in human design. I can be a catalyst based on how I inform, and that is my design and my role here. I'm not a coach, and I'm not an authority in your life, okay? Also, not a therapist, but you should have one if you're gonna go on this journey. Highly recommend, okay? So this phase is not a delay. It's more like an incubation period. We can think about caterpillars and a butterfly and a chrysalis and all of the metaphors, but that's essentially what you're undergoing as a human and as our humanity shifts, okay? So what is the solution? What do? Okay? We seek coherence, not consensus. What does that mean? It means you have to start feeling, listening to your inner authority, not getting opinions from everyone else or needing external validation. This is really hard because that's literally how we've been taught. Choose environments that regulate your nervous system, not disrupt your nervous system. So environments where you have to show up and perform are likely going to be a hindrance for you on your journey and in this process of really shifting into this internal authority identity. Okay, so also allow identity to emerge relationally, not performatively. Allow your identity to really emerge relationally, not performatively. So what does that mean? It means allowing yourself to show up authentically and see who resonates with you, see who accepts that version of you rather than people who only accept the version of you when you're performing. And relationally, it can be to yourself, it can be literally in your relationships, it can be work, career, spirituality. It covers a spectrum of areas. So instead of asking yourself, how do I catch up? Ask yourself, what is this phase preparing me for? Write that question down and let it sit. When you do this and you really take your time through this process, you reduce a lot of shame and fear that may be coming up. You have an increased sense of belonging and you feel ready for deeper, more intentional containers, but you have to prepare first. So you're actually really early, even if it feels like you're behind, for the life that actually fits for you, because the paradigm is shifting in 2027. We're seeing the sprinkles of it now, but there's more to come. So you're not behind, you're actually really early. All of this lives inside of the identity conversation. And if this is resonating, you're not meant to rush your clarity. You're exactly where you're meant to be inside of this larger identity arc that we're navigating.